Hi folks, in this episode we're going to be talking about the two-chord shuttle. This is any chord progression that just alternates two chords back and forth without variation, either for an entire song or a long section of a song. This seems like it would be a recipe for harmonic boredom, but when done properly over the right groove, a two-chord shuttle can be the most exciting sound that exists. The two-chord shuttle has come up in this podcast several times before. In the last episode, when we talked about Dancing in the Street by Martha Reeves and the Vandellas, we talked about the main groove alternating the chords D over E and E, or E9 sus4 and E, depending on how you want to think about it. And we talked about the fact that that song was prescient in its use of the two-chord groove, which would not become widespread in Anglo-American pop music until a few years later. We also talked about the two-chord groove in the episode about blues harmony and how Western tonal theory is powerless to explain it. The two-chord shuttle is a really common framework for blues-based music. So what we're going to do first is go through a bunch of examples of two-chord shuttles from iconic songs, and then we're going to talk about why the two-chord shuttle is so effective, why it's so useful, why it's so much fun, and how it supports improvisation and participation among listeners. So here we go. From 1969, here's The End by the Beatles. Going A7, D7, A7, D7, A7, D7, A7, D7. This implies the key of A blues. It doesn't really fit into any of the Western European major or minor keys. And if you want a deeper explanation of that idea, please listen to the episode about blues harmony. From 1970, here's Santana's recording of Oye Como Va by Tito Puente. A minor 7, D7, A minor 7, D7, A minor 7, D7, A minor 7, D7. So these two chords imply a Dorian mode. We're going to be hearing a lot of Dorian mode. Dorian mode and two-chord shuttles go together like peanut butter and jelly. From 1973, here's The Great Gig in the Sky by Pink Floyd. This is another Dorian mode shuttle. G minor 7, C7, G minor 7, C7, G minor 7, C7, G minor 7, C7. Also from 1973, here's Doing It to Death by the JBs. And there isn't any specific mode or key that this tune is using. It's basically an F blues, but the other chord doesn't really have a neat kind of functional or modal explanation. It's the substitute dominant in F, the tritone substitution.
Oh, how you feel, brother? Feeling good. You feel good? Feeling good. It's groovy. Play so much bone, brother. How you feel, man? I feel all right. I'll call your name. I don't want no people to know you're in here. How you feel, fella? Hey, jam! Sure getting down. Look at him! Ha! We're gonna have a funky good time. 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 Let's take 'em up, Fred. We gotta take you higher.
F9, G flat 9, F9, G flat 9, F9, G flat 9, F9, G flat 9. From 1974, here's Lively Up Yourself by Bob Marley. This is another 1-4, 1-7-4-7 blues progression. We're in the key of D blues. D7, G7, D7, G7, D7, G7, D7, G7. From 1976, here's I Wish by Stevie Wonder. This is a Dorian shuttle in E-flat Dorian. E-flat minor 7, A-flat 7, E-flat minor 7, A-flat 7, E-flat minor 7, A-flat 7, E-flat minor 7, A-flat 7. From 1977, here's Fire on the Mountain by the Grateful Dead. We're in Mixolydian mode. Just like the 1-4 in Dorian is a really common two-chord shuttle, 1 to flat 7 is really common in Mixolydian mode. So this tune is in B Mixolydian.
Long distance runner, what you standing there for? Get on, get out of the door. Playing cold music on the barroom floor. Drowning your laughter and dead to the core. Drinking with matches, loose on the town. Make a whole pail of water just to cool him down. No, it's fire, fire on the mountain. Fire, fire on the mountain. Fire, fire on the mountain. Fire, fire on the mountain.
B7, A, B7, A, A, B7, A, B7, A. From 1978, here's Flashlight by Parliament, yet another Dorian shuttle, this time in C Dorian. C minor 7, F7, C minor 7, F7, C minor 7, F7, C minor 7, F7. From 1979, here's Don't Stop Till You Get Enough by Michael Jackson. This is another Mixolydian shuttle similar to Fire on the Mountain, but the chords are in the reverse order. So instead of 1 to flat 7, it's going flat 7 to 1. Also, the tonic just pedals under both chords. So actually, it's exactly the same progression as the main groove in Dancing in the Street by Martha Reeves and the Vandellas, just in a different key. So we're in B Mixolydian instead of D Mixolydian like Martha Reeves.
You make me feel like that.
A over B, B7, A over B, B7, A over B, B7, A over B, B7. From 1981, here's Before I Let Go by Frankie, Beverley, and Maze. And this is one that we have not heard before. This is a natural minor shuttle. So it's 4 and 1, but in natural minor rather than Dorian. So it's 4 minor rather than major 4 or dominant 4. And also the 4 chord is first. So normally, the 1 chord is first in a loop, in a 2-bar loop. But here the 4 chord is first, and that creates some uncertainty as to, is it the 4 chord? Maybe it's the 1 chord. Yeah, your ear is getting this contradictory information. And also the rhythm of this is very complex. Like the timing of these chord changes is very syncopated and hip.
I can't let you go. I can't let you go. All right now. Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all.
B minor 7, F sharp minor 7, B minor 7, F sharp minor 7, B minor 7, F sharp minor 7, B minor 7, F sharp minor 7. From 1986, here's When I Think of You by Janet Jackson. And this is a major scale shuttle. And those are not that unusual. We'll be getting to an example of that in a bit, but this one is odd because it's 1 to 5 in A major, it's A to E, but both these chords have a lot of extensions in them. So it's A add 9 and E7 sus 4. And A add 9 is a lot like just an E chord with A in the bass, and E7 sus 4 is basically just an A chord with E in the bass. So you've basically got like E over A and then A over E. So it's like the two chords have each other's identities, and it makes it really, really hard to feel which one is supposed to be the tonic and which one is supposed to be the dominant, like which one is supposed to feel resolved and at rest and which one is supposed to feel tense, because they both are sort of tense and they both are sort of at rest. So you're just kind of floating along in A major. Extremely cool tune. A add 9, E7 sus 4. 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 From 1990, here is a much more conventional 1 to 4 in major. This is taken from a sample of Walk on the Wild Side by Lou Reed, but I think Can I Kick It is a much cooler song than Walk on the Wild Side, so that's the example I'm using. We're in the key of C, and we're just going back and forth between the 1 chord and the 4 chord with no tricks or weirdness, except for the fact that these chords are being played on an unusual combination of instruments, upright bass and electric bass. And the upright bass is sliding in one direction, and the electric bass is sliding in the other direction.
Can I kick it? Yes, you can. 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 Can I kick it? Can I kick it? Yes, you can. Can I kick it? Yes, you can. Well, I'm gone. Can I kick it? To all the people who can quest like a tribe does. Before this, did you really know?
Go C, F, C, F, C, F, C, F. Also from 1990, here's Groove is in the Heart by Deee-Lite. This is a 1/7 to 4/7 blues groove in A flat, so we're in A flat blues. This sample comes from Bring in the Birds by Herbie Hancock. Got A flat 7, D flat 7, A flat 7, D flat 7, A flat 7, D flat 7, A flat 7, D flat 7. From 1998, here's Everything is Everything by Lauryn Hill. So this one is unusual in a couple of different ways. First of all, we've got E and A minor. We've got 1 and 4 minor. So it's like major, except the 4 chord is minor, which suggests parallel minor. Possibly we could be in Phrygian dominant mode, the 5th mode of harmonic minor for this kind of Middle Eastern feeling. And also the harmonic rhythm is unusual. Instead of just alternating back and forth between the 2 chords, it's anti-symmetrical. So it's going 1 to 4, then 4 to 1, 1 to 4, then 4 to 1. Very, very cool groove.
Everything, everything is everything, is everything. What is meant to be will be. After winter. After winter, must come spring. Change comes eventually.
A minor, A minor, E, A minor, A minor, From 2001, here's Family Affair by Mary J. Blige. This is an ambiguous one. It could be 1 and 5 in C sharp natural minor. It could also be 4 and 1 in G sharp natural minor. The melody does suggest C sharp minor, but if you didn't hear the melody, you could easily be forgiven for being completely confused as to which of these chords is one.
Let's get it crunk up on that fun up in this dancery. We got y'all open, now you're floating, so you got to dance for me. Don't need no hateration, holleration in this dancery. Let's get it percolating while you're waiting, so just dance for me. Come on, everybody, get on down, cause you know we got to get it wrong. Mary J is in the spot tonight, and I'ma make you feel alright. Come on, baby, just party with me. Let loose and set your body free. Leave your situations at the door, so when you step inside, jump on the floor.
So we've got C sharp minor, G sharp minor, C sharp minor, G sharp minor, C sharp minor, G sharp minor, C sharp minor, G sharp minor. From 2013, here's Versace by Migos. Like the Lauryn Hill song earlier, this is from a more exotic kind of modal feeling. This is from A Phrygian mode. And we have this anti-symmetrical harmonic rhythm.
Versace, 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 whoa, Versace, 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 Versace. Versace, Versace, Medusa head on me like I'm Illuminati. I know that you like it. Versace, my neck and my wrist is so slutty.
A minor,
Versace,
E flat,
Versace, Versace,
E flat, A minor, A minor, E flat, E flat, A minor, A minor, E flat, E flat, A minor, A minor, E flat, E flat, A minor. Okay, so why the two-chord shuttle? What is so great about the two-chord shuttle? Well, the most obvious answer to that is two-chord shuttles are simple. They're predictable. They're easy to play. They're easy to remember. And that is good for music where you want people to participate. You want people to be able to improvise over it. You want people to be able to learn it quickly. You want people to be able to dance to it, so they need to be able to predict where it's going. But two-chord grooves, while they are simple, aren't necessarily simplistic. There is plenty of space in there for musical richness and variety. First of all, you can have the rhythms be complex, and pretty much all the examples that we've heard have actually very richly sophisticated rhythmic underpinning. And that harmonic simplicity is really helpful if you want to have these complex, syncopated, unpredictable grooves, because that helps tie everything together. But also, two chords isn't a lot of harmonic variety, but it's not nothing either. And one thing that's nice about the two-chord groove is you can repeat the same idea, the same melodic idea, but it'll sound different over the two different chords. So what I've done is created this loop, this A Dorian shuttle, like Oye Como Va. It's just A minor 7 and D7 repeating. And I wrote a bunch of little phrases, a bunch of little riffs, and each of these riffs is going to repeat first over the A minor 7 chord and then over the D7 chord. And it'll be exactly the same sequence of notes both times, but each one of them will sound different over the A minor 7 chord than it does over the D7 chord. And this is going to be over the Funky Drummer Break from James Brown. So all of the examples that we've heard in the podcast so far are all pretty easily explained as being part of some scale or mode or just general kind of harmonic gestalt. So either we've been in Dorian mode or major or natural minor or Phrygian dominant or regular Phrygian or blues. But there are also some two-chord shuttles where the two chords don't necessarily have any obvious harmonic relationship at all. And one example of that comes from a section of Genius of Love by Tom Tom Club from 1981. So most of that tune just alternates G and E minor. That's really simple, just 1 and 6 from G major. But there is this section where it's alternating G7 and E7. And these two chords have no relationship whatsoever. So we've got G7, E7, G7, E7, G7, E7, G7, E7. So what, like, on the one hand, that sounds odd when you think about it, but it probably doesn't actually sound that odd if you're not really thinking about it. And that's because, as Adam Neely likes to say, repetition legitimizes. Repetition legitimizes. Repetition legitimizes. Repetition legitimizes. When you hear something repeated, it just starts to make sense just by virtue of it being repeated, especially if it's repeated over a nice groove, which Genius of Love by Tom Tom Club certainly is. And in fact, you can really take any two chords at all, and if you alternate them over a nice groove, that immediately just starts sounding logical. So what I've done is I've created some two chord shuttles using every combination of two dominant seventh chords. So we're going to be alternating C7 and every other dominant seventh chord. And you're going to hear some of these will just sound good immediately. Some of them will sound a little bit odd at first, but then will pretty quickly start sounding good. So first we've got C7 and D flat 7. C7, D flat 7. C7, D flat 7. C7, D flat 7. C7, D flat 7. This is basically the same progression as Doing It to Death by James Brown. We've got the one chord and then the flat 2 chord, the substitute dominant, the tritone sub. And that substitute dominant doesn't really make a lot of harmonic sense, but it's basically just creating this C blues vibe. Okay, so next we've got C7 and D7. C7, D7, C7, D7, C7, D7, C7, D7. I guess you could think of this as kind of C mixolydian and D mixolydian, or just two chords sliding back and forth in parallel. That whole step has a nice kind of brightness to it. It's appealing, even if it doesn't really function in the Western tonal sense. So next we've got C7 and E flat 7. C7, E flat 7, C7, E flat 7, C7, E flat 7, C7, E flat 7. C to E flat, that's standard blues boilerplate, but C7 to E flat 7, that E flat 7 doesn't really make sense. It's got that D flat in it, but the voice leading is nice, yeah. Okay, so here's another weird one, C7 and E7. C7, E7, C7, E7, C7, E7, C7, E7. I mean, I guess that E7 might make you expect the relative minor, A minor, but it doesn't go to A minor, just goes right back home to C7. This is another one where it doesn't really make harmonic sense, but again, the voice leading is cool. Okay, now we've got C7 and F7, the good old 1/7 to 4/7 blues shuttle. You've already heard it 100 times on this podcast episode. C7, F7, C7, F7, C7, F7, C7, F7. Okay, another weird one, C7 and F sharp 7. C7, F sharp 7, C7, F sharp 7, C7, F sharp 7, C7, F sharp 7. Absolute nonsense as far as functional harmony is concerned, but really delightful voice leading. Okay, next we've got C7 and G7, kind of a bluesy 1 to 5, not really that common, but not unheard of either. C7, G7, C7, G7, C7, G7, C7, G7. Okay, next a very cool one, C7 and A flat 7. A flat 7, let's call it the Pink Panther chord, the flat 6, 7. You can think of it as the tritone sub, it's substitute dominant for the 5 chord in C blues, or you could just think of it as being a verticalization of the C blues scale. Either way, very, very cool chord. C7, A flat 7, C7, A flat 7, C7, A flat 7, C7, A flat 7. All right, next we've got C7 and A7. This is another one that doesn't really make a tremendous lot of functional sense. I mean, I guess A7 would be like a secondary dominant in the key of C and would make you expect D minor, but that's not what it does here. It's just two sounds. C7, A7, C7, A7, C7, A7, C7, A7. next, C7 and B flat 7. B flat 7 is what jazz musicians call the backdoor dominant. It kind of functions like the 5 chord, except not. It's just a whole step down from C7. Kind of a nice, dark, moody parallel minor sound. C7, B flat 7, C7, B flat 7, C7, B flat 7, C7, B flat 7. And last of all, we've got just C7 and B7 sliding down a half step chromatically. No real functional logic to this except for the obvious parallelism. Sounds kind of naive, but I don't know, sounds cool after a while. C7, B7, C7, B7, C7, B7, C7, B7. Okay, so I did all of that with the dominant 7th chords because they evoke the blues and you're used to these 2-chord shuttles in a bluesy context. And dominant 7th chords are easy to sort of detach from your expectations of Western tonal music. But you could really do the same thing with any pair of chords at all. And the chords don't have to actually be real chords. So now what I've done is created a groove with 2 just random cluster chords. Like I literally just put my fist down on the MIDI keyboard to produce them. So I'm not even going to try to name them. I don't know what they are. Here we go. For me, like they sound kind of weird at first, and then by the end, I'm just like, yeah, great, those 2 chords. So yeah, there you have it, the 2-chord shuttle. Like it creates meaning just by virtue of repetition. So if you choose 2 chords that already had a meaningful relationship, then the repetition reinforces it. If you choose 2 chords that don't have a meaningful relationship, then the repetition creates one. Because they're so predictable, very, very easy to improvise along with them. Very good basis for songwriting. And 2-chord shuttles are nice for music education because they have what's called a low floor and a high ceiling. So they're very easy to get started with, but if it's a really good groove that you've got going on, you never really get to the bottom of it. You never really exhaust its possibilities. I want, by the way, to shout out Andrea LaRose's Substack. It's called 2 Chords, and she collects songs that have 2 chords. Now, her examples are not necessarily 2-chord shuttles. Instead, the 2 chords are arranged in all kinds of different ways. So there might be a long section on one chord and then very briefly going to the other chord. There's all kinds of more complex harmonic rhythms rather than these just bouncing back and forth shuttles. Not every 2-chord song is a shuttle or a groove. But yeah, her examples are all really well chosen from a huge variety of styles and eras, and it is well worth checking out if you're a music educator or you just want to expand your listening horizons. You know, even if you're just like playing your instrument alone at home and you want to practice your scales or you want to practice your improvising, 2-chord shuttles are really perfect for that. Again, because they tend to be easy. You can figure out what's going on almost immediately, but then you just have this enormous scope for melodic invention. Also, because 2-chord shuttles are so predictable, you can actually play really dissonant. You can play in the wrong key entirely. And if you do it confidently enough, you can really get away with a lot of extreme weirdness. And that's an idea that we're going to be exploring in future episodes more deeply. Thank you very much for listening.